right, Hunter Biden's attorney is blaming his client's drug history for a bombshell text message that appears to show Hunter Biden threatening a Chinese businessman or face retaliatory measures from his father, Joe Biden, and, quote, everybody he knows. Attorney Chris Clark saying that Hunter Biden's verifiable words or actions took place in the midst of a horrible addiction and therefore have no connection to anyone in his family. Attorney General Merrick Garland, meanwhile, is saying he did not interfere with the Hunter Biden probe while slamming anybody who questions the DOJ's independence. Watch this.
I certainly understand that some have chosen to attack the integrity of the Justice Department and its components and its employees by claiming that we do not treat like cases alike. This constitutes an attack on an institution that is essential to American democracy and essential to the safety of the American people. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Joining me right now is New York Congresswoman, member of the House Ways and Means Committee, Claudia Tenney, is with me. Congresswoman, it's good to see you this morning. So much to discuss. Let's start with the Hunter Biden influence peddling story. Your reaction to what you just heard from Merrick Garland.
Well, first of all, if I could be a Democrat for a moment, I'd call that mansplaining. The Democrats during our meeting on this, when we had the executive session, talked about, I thought you Republicans cared about backing the blue. How can you attack the FBI and how wonderful they are? These are the same people that attacked parents who were showing up at school board meetings and called them people that were terrorists, basically. So look, the FBI is dirty. These are dirty cops. This is what happened during this investigation. The Department of Justice engaged basically in obstructing justice, in preventing this story from coming out. They interfered to make sure that these IRS agents, who, by the way, were investigating a pornography ring, somehow end up with Hunter Biden's story. This is really important part of the mix, too. So, I mean, look, we can all focus on Hunter Biden, but the real story here is Joe Biden and how Hunter Biden was the proxy for Joe and the family. And this started, as Peter Schweitzer pointed out, back when Joe Biden was vice president. He was peddling his influence using his son. Remember, you've talked about this, Maria, traveling on Air Force Two, meeting with the Chinese. Now the Chinese have data. They have a phone that was issued to him by the Chinese Communist Party. All this stuff is happening, and this is while he's the vice president of the United States. So while he's vice president, we're seeing influence peddling. We're seeing, violation of ethics laws, violation of campaign finance. Then he becomes a private citizen, but they're still trying to get this money, from Hunter Biden to Joe. And this is how the relationship started and continues. So while he's a private citizen, this becomes money laundering, tax evasion, and all those things that these IRS agents really stumbled upon, these whistleblowers that we heard from. That's what's really going on here. And as the Democrats try to say, how can you, attack the venerable institution of the FBI and the DOJ? And how can you say now Joe's a private citizen? This is activity that's been going on for years that started using his position to protect himself and also using his position, Joe Biden, to enrich himself and his family. You don't live for 50 years on the pay that members of Congress and Senate and even the vice president make and live in multi-million-dollar mansions in beautiful, exquisite areas like Rehoboth Beach and also Wilmington, Delaware. So, I mean, These are things that just raise eyebrows. And we know there's something there, but the DOJ slow-walked this, as the evidence proved. They tried to prevent searching, for example, a storage facility in Virginia, looking at what was at Joe Biden's house. Agents were concerned because Merrick Garland was putting the pressure on him. No, we can't go there. We can't investigate the big guy. We can't talk about the father. All this is really important in getting to the corruption here.
Well, I mean, that one WhatsApp message was so blatant where he says, I'm sitting with my father. You tweeted out a picture of Hunter Biden sitting in Joe Biden's Corvette. And you say, where was Joe Biden when Hunter sent that text? That WhatsApp message really sounded like a mobster shakedown, saying you better keep your commitment. Otherwise, you're going to face, the retaliatory consequences of the man sitting next to me and everybody he knows. So, I mean, that tells you everything.
Right. And all we need to prove. Exactly, Maria. And all we need to prove is that Joe Biden was in the room and he's part of this. And we have other evidence showing that Joe Biden was in the room from various witnesses who were involved in the Biden schemes. Joe was there to show that Hunter had the connections. But again, I think a lot of that is distraction. I think that Joe Biden used Hunter Biden, a flawed person with a lot of problems. He used him in order to get this an easy shill that he could use his own son, which is horrible in many ways, a tragic situation with his drug abuse. But now you see the Democrats saying, oh, this poor son, he's got drug problems. That's why we're going to give him a lesser sentence. Those are not, this is really, again, I can't emphasize enough, it's about Joe Biden. And so that WhatsApp message, we found evidence showing that Joe Biden and the whole family were all in Wilmington on the night of the phone call, that WhatsApp message, when it happened. That was July 30th, 2017. And yes, Joe Biden was a private citizen, but this is a continuation of the tax evasion, the money laundering, and what was going on to get that money through Hunter to Joe Biden and his family.
Yeah, very, very troubling. And the chairman of your committee, Jason Smith, joined me last week and told us that they took in $17 million from 2014 to 2019, and the FBI and the DOJ slow-walked it so that the statute of limitations would go up on 2014 and 2015, which it has. Congressman, we're going to keep a spotlight on it, but it's just incredible to see what is happening to our country with this. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, good to see you.